Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. This is the Overtime Drive. It is Sunday night, August the 24th, 2025. For the first time in this 2025 SEC football season, we are live on a Sunday night. Ladies and gents, it is Sunday Funday with yours truly, Chris Phillips, and of course, my right-hand man, Cole Thompson. Really excited to have you guys aboard, and we have got a jam-packed show for you all here on this Sunday night. Before we get into all that and much more, make sure, as always, guys, you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast where we get your podcasts. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. And as always, we are powered by our friends over at FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FANDUEL.com/SECU to get $250 in bonus bets today. We finally made it. It is game week for the SEC. Week 0 is in the books, and Sunday Funday has officially returned. Of course, part of the Overtime Drive lineup. You guys probably remember from last football season, we were live each and every single Sunday after the dust had settled on each SEC football weekend. Well, we're running it back. Same thing as before. Really excited. A little bit of a different start time. We'll get more of the details here in just a second. But again, Sunday Funday is officially back in the weekly rotation from now, August 24th, 2025, all the way until the end of the football season, into bowl season, into the playoffs. Hopefully, fingers crossed, culminating in what we think will be a national championship for the SEC. But either way, really excited to be here, guys. Again, we got a lot to get into. Week 0 was a blast. We'll talk about that. Some gambling stuff I definitely want to hit on. Garrett Nussmeier getting number 18, an esteemed honor down in Baton Rouge. We got some quarterback news. Looks like Bryce Underwood will be the guy at Michigan. We've also got some rumors being spread on socials that we'll quickly address. Also, really exciting content plans to share with you guys, obviously, going into the football season as we get into our first game week of the 2025 season. Again, guys, this is really us rolling back out the red carpet, saying to all you, come in, welcome. Sunday Funday is officially back. And once again, as always, I am Chris Phillips. Joining me, as he always does, my good friend, my colleague, my partner in crime, Cole the Bear Thompson, who's going to help me anchor this thing every single Sunday night. Bear, it's good to be back with you on a Sunday, my friend. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you taking the time.
Let's make this clear, ladies and gentlemen. We're not slowing down. We're only ramping up. You got Monday previews. You got Tuesday. We got Overtime Drive. You got the show with Blake Ruffino. On Wednesday, we got previews. On Thursday, we got Overtime Drive. We got betting information. We got content coming your way every single day on the Instagram platform, on the YouTube platform, on our Twitter accounts. We got recap shows on Saturday, and then we line it all back up on Sunday. I'm telling you, this is the time to be alive. This is the time you want to be a part of SEC Unfiltered. This is the moment where everything is back because, guys, we're back. There was a feeling when you woke up this morning of just pure euphoria because you realized we're less than a week away from kickoff. Thursday night rolls around. I don't care that it's Central Arkansas. It's Missouri. It's Sam Horn. It's Bo Pabula. We got Friday blackout on the Brazos. We got Auburn making the rise. Then we get Saturday, Sunday. We get everything. Chris Phillips, we are back in business, baby. This is why we have savored the offseason. And you know what? Nothing can bring me down. Nobody, no comment, no issues. No matter what you have to say about me, my backwards hat, whoever I am, I love who I am. I love this show. I love the fact that we have college football back because we are back. This is the ultimate feeling of when you wake up and realize the greatest game on earth is back on our television screens, Chris Phillips.
We made it. We're in game week officially. Let me ask you this, Bear, by the way, just kind of a side note. For you, does game week begin for college football? Like it's game week or it's week 2 week or it's this week or that week. Does it begin on Sunday or Monday for you? Growing up for me, it was always Monday. I felt like I waited until after like the NFL stuff, but I know technically a new week begins on Sunday. Are you a game week begins Sunday guy or game week begins Monday guy?
Sunday. But I give you that one day of Sunday to grieve, mourn, and be.
Got to give the 24-hour rule. You got to allow the 24 hours.
So again, if let's say your game ends at 2:30 and you lose, okay, you have until 2:30 on Sunday to go ahead and pull yourself together and get ready for week 2 or week 4 or week 7. If it's at 7 p.m., I will give you the benefit of the doubt if you want to go ahead and rest up, so long as your game is around the same time. If it's a 3:30 kick, maybe I'll be a little bit nice, give you a little bit more time to mourn your losses or celebrate the victory before you start focusing in on what's ahead. But let's say you got an 11 a.m. kick the next day. You got to 11 a.m. to figure your problems out and get ready to go because it's an early kick, which means you have more time, less time to prepare than you had the week before. So that's the way I am. I always have been. It's a new week. You can celebrate, but while you're celebrating or mourning, you got to have your mind fixated on next Saturday. You have to be starting to load on into what is going to be this upcoming week. That's what you got to be, dude. It's always been.
Well, with that being said, although game week does begin on Sunday, we will spend our Sunday nights recapping and looking back, maybe even breaking that 24-hour rule a little bit. But it's okay. We can do that. We're allowed to do so. We can do whatever we want. This is our show. It's all good. Yeah. So anyways, no, really excited. That is one change. Again, I'm going to get into the full content schedule a little bit later in the show. I do want to share some of the exciting things we're going to be doing this football season because, I mean, as Bear said, I always say it's content's bleeding out of the eyeballs with us, and it always is. But we have truly entered content bleeding out of the eyeballs season. You will not be able to get on YouTube, podcasts, social media, wherever without seeing SEC Unfiltered, and we take a lot of pride in that. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. In case you're wondering, obviously right now you're tuned in live, Facebook, YouTube, X. We appreciate you. If you're listening to podcast, obviously a little bit different scenario, but this is going to be our new start time for Sunday Funday. Later in the day on Sunday, 8 p.m. Central will be our go time, which I got to be honest with you all. For all of our Sunday Funday watchers from a season ago, you saw my face. You knew I was hurting. Let's go ahead and call it what it is. Y'all knew I was hurting when I was on the road, and it was 9 a.m. Central. You knew it, right? So we had a talk. We had a meeting amongst the minds. We decided it was better for my physical, mental, and probably spiritual health as well that I had some extra time to recoup, recover for what inevitably is going to happen on the road for 15-plus straight weekends. So, Bear, I thank you for that. I thank you, truly, genuinely, because
that was the deciding factor. I
don't think you want to see me again with my eyes like this.
I made it pretty clear. There's a couple of scenes. There's the one scene in the documentary of the Always Any Given Saturday where very much you could see the way that both of us look. And I am not in the mood, and he is certainly not in the mood. But you know what? We're making it fair. I said it'd be easier for me. I don't have to rush my way to Texans. I don't have to rush my way to any outside venue. I can get on home. I can physically prepare. And also, when I'm at Texans, if it's a game to where I don't have to do a lot or I don't have much on my plate, I go back and I rewatch film on the highlight games, on the marquee matchups, because I want to be fully convinced and I want to make sure that you guys get the best content possible. I just don't want to be giving you random hot takes or willy-nilly shenanigans. I want to give you what is actually deserved. So it gives me more time to prep, gives me more time to look things over, gives me more time to get ready. We're okay with that. And hopefully for you guys, Sunday Funday, there's a lot of shows that you got coming on these weeks. There's a lot of shows that go on starting on Sunday night. It lets you go from one show to another show to come on in. So college football and the college football landscape and community, we're always going to give you more content. So just remember, when you go click off one show, get this show. You don't have to rush. We're already going to be right here for you.
And think of how electric the week one Sunday Funday is, because we got a Sunday game that obviously we have the preview out on Friday. We got out on Friday, South Carolina Tech. So we'll go live probably essentially pretty close to immediately after that and reacting to it all. And I'm sure the comments will not disappoint no matter the results of what happens on opening weekend in that game, without a doubt. By the way, before we get going, I want to make sure I shout this out. So you'll see this fresh lid, by the way. This is not an SEC Unfiltered cap. Bailey over at Big Sports Girl on Instagram, which is a local Nashville-based company, which is how we stumbled upon each other. The algorithming, saw each other on Instagram. She followed, wanted to throw us a hat. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear it on the show. And obviously, Bear, the irony of me wearing a Big Sports Girl hat is that I am indeed not a girl. I am a man. So
yeah, you are a big sports girl. You look the part, buddy.
No. Here's the thing. I'm not a big sports girl, but we salute and we support
all of our
big sports girls. We support all of them. So thank you all. Funny enough, Bear, I will say this too. I won't drop any names. I'm out and about this weekend, and you're going to care about this.
Of course,
I'm out and about this weekend in Nashville. I met a woman out in Nashville, Ole Miss alum, Hottie Toddy, huge fan of the show.
Ooh.
Huge fan. Like, watches every episode, watches all the vlogs. And that was a rarity. I mean, it just is what it is. So if you look at our demographics, I think we're like 95% male dominated. So again, to our big sports girls,
We appreciate
thank you for the support. I mean, truly.
Yeah.
Women of the SEC are built different. It's just bottom line.
They are. And I appreciate every single one of them. I appreciate our other friend who does also great customized hats. Gives the SEC pretty. You want to go ahead and take that look? Guess what? I got Kirsten a hat. She loves it. The burnt orange.
Yeah, I'll get Kirsten the big sports girl.
I say we got Kirsten the SEC pretty hat.
We even got the SEC royal blue on there.
Exactly. So whenever you can, support all of the SEC companies around the platforms, especially our SEC girls, because I'll tell you what, they without a doubt, give us more to talk about. And they're also a part of the community. And you know what, Wesley Williams, I see you in the chat. This show would be a lot better if we go ahead and interact with some of the comments. I'm interacting with your comments. I see your comments. I'm going to make sure that I interact with you. Specifically, just you, Wesley Williams. Anybody else that wants to comment in on the show, please. Honestly, we are a college football community. We're here to give you the great content that you're asking for.
Yes, I promise we'll be interacting with comments. I was kind of going off on some rambling and some tangents, so I do apologize. But we will throughout the show. Periodically, drop us your comments. We want you to be involved in the conversation. And yeah, once again, salute to the big sports girls and the SEC women. Hey, we wouldn't be here without the women of the SEC when you really think about it. So we're all come from an SEC woman. Anyways, that being said, Bear, let's talk some week 0. What a weekend it was. There was a lot of, and depending on who you pay attention to, which maybe it gives you an idea who you should and should not pay attention to. There's some people that acknowledge week 0, don't acknowledge week 0. Bear, I was watching week 0 college football like the Super Bowl was on.
Yep.
And a lot of that had to do with, of course, our friends over at FANDUEL, FANDUEL.com/SECU. It felt good to sweat out some bets again. It felt really, really good. I found a way to go 2-1 on the opening weekend. Wild way to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, we are so back, right? We are so back. And I want to say this too, because I want to get in these individual games, Bear, but I'll just say this. So Saturday, I watched the first half of K-State, Iowa State at home. Went to a local watering hole in my neighborhood to watch the fourth quarter. And all I'll say is this, and it's such a beautiful thing, Bear. There is nothing that brings men together, strangers who become best friends, like those who are on the same side of a bet. There's nothing like it. I am literally sitting there watching this game, and I'm kind of clapping, cheering, whatever. We start to have a conversation. Then it turns into, yeah, man, I'm not pulling for either side. I've just got Kansas State -2.5. I've got the under
money line.
49. He's like, I've got Kansas State money line. There is nothing that has brothers lock in arm the way that being on the same side of a bet does. And I don't know what the female equivalent of that is. There has to be something, but it is such a beautiful and special thing to be locked in arms with your brothers, sweating out the same side of a bet, either feeling the joy of victory or the angst of defeat. There's just nothing like it, man. I was reminded of that this past Saturday, watching Kansas State, Iowa State, sweating out. Again, I was on K-State -2.5, the under 49.5, which we can get in this game, Bear. That was the most diabolical under hit of all time. Matt Campbell, I could kiss you on the mouth. Like, unbelievable. Bear, I'm not joking. I wish I had recorded it. I'm sitting there. The play that they scored the touchdown on, they didn't. I'm literally sitting there, Bear. I said, I just need him to not score a touchdown. That's all I need. Just don't score a touchdown. Sure enough, that swing pass thing scored the touchdown. I'm like, that's it. We lost. K-State's cooked. The over just hit. We're starting 0-2. Here we go. Vegas, we're back. How they reviewed it, said he wasn't in. Thank goodness. I guess he was just short, but my goodness, it was close. And obviously, that downs it at the inch line, and Matt Campbell knees it at the inch line. What a saint. He could have just sneaked it, and all the over bettors would rejoice. But instead, the under 49.5 cashes, and we push because K-State and Avery Johnson were too busy worrying about fighting each other instead of fighting the battle on the field.
Well, that was his family. So let's start.
I know. You know what I mean.
But still, no, Matt Campbell is one of the most underappreciated coaches in the history of college football.
I'm a lifelong fan.
Because of this man has had opportunities to go time after time to other universities and instead has turned it down to be a part of this program, this community, this identity. And we've never given him the love because we don't get love to Iowa State. But that man on Saturday realized how many people took Iowa State, how many people took the money line. And they're like, you know what? Let's get something to talk about. Let's continue to make sure that they understand that I care for my people. I care for my community. I care for my betting community. I'm going to make sure that you hit the under. Like, he just went out of his way to make sure that everybody was happy with that. That's what he does. He wants to make sure that everybody enjoys their Saturday.
If you told me Matt had the under, or his family, somebody in his family had the under, I'd believe it.
I would too.
I mean,
he didn't even try to challenge it either. He's just like, oh, you know what? No, we're down at the one. Cool. I'm going to take a knee. No problem.
So Bear, the game specifically, by the way, and I want to highlight this. This isn't just a K-State, Iowa State thing. Boy, it was a rough day for the refs again. God, it was a rough. Dude, the officiating was so bad. Like that, I thought K-State got screwed. He got the first, man.
On
what planet? Yeah. Yes. He got the first. I mean, I thought the officiating throughout the day was it was on brand. It was rough though. It was very, very rough. I mean, I guess that's week 0 officiating with some of the conferences that were in action, but that was infuriating. I'll let you, if you want to share some thoughts, Beer. I know you did like a little post game on
it was
TikTok.
A sloppy game. I mean, like from top to bottom. Let's start off with
the first half was. But, I was like, football's back. And I'm like, oof, this is.
But it was brutal. Sloppy in terms of like just the conditions. Remember, it was raining all
sucked.
Morning.
Yeah.
The field was just a madhouse. You're playing on grass. Everything is just kind of thrown to the wayside. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're looking. It leads to miscommunications. Like they said at halftime, both coaches went to the officials and said, when we go in, if you want us to continue to play, you need to repaint the lines on the field so we know where we are. Like, that's how bad of an actual sloppy game it was. But then we talk about the on-field performance. Rocco Becht did not look like a quarterback that is a top 5 passer in the Big 12. Now, again, he stepped up in highlight moments, but for every good throw, he nearly threw an interception. He overshot a receiver. Wide receivers were dropping balls left and right on either side. Kansas State, the inability to trust what Avery Johnson's best gift is, which is his mobility, his athleticism, his dual threat physicality that allows him to win in the open field. Those are just things that you say to yourself, we have got to utilize to our strengths. And it felt like Matt Wells was just trying to play conservative, trying to be too pedestrian, trying to get the ball into the receiver's hands. The penalties just in general. How many times just there were so many back and forth of poor tackling, or you were trying to go ahead and get a grab and it was a pass interference call. Like, those are things that you just got to realize are inexcusable. And that was something that was actually really down last season for Kansas State. And I know we're an SEC show, but you know what? It's week 0. We got to get our minds into motion for when we get to week 1 next week. And I look at this and I'm like, there were so many things that last season cost Kansas State a spot in the Big 12 title game, cost them what would have been probably a 10-win season because of just poor excommunication on the field by a staff that usually is known for discipline, is known for physicality, is known for being direct, and it came back once again to bite them. Iowa State, credit where credit's due. Matt Campbell, you could have kicked the field goal. You could have said Avery Johnson, who had 2 really good plays, 2 really good touchdown passes, go out there and find a way to beat us. Could have had that happen. Instead says, nope, we're going to go for it on 4th. We're going to end this game. Carson Hansen slips at the 1. All the unders hit. Anybody that took Iowa State hit. Everybody is excited about where this team is. Everybody is excited about Iowa State starting off 1-0. Credit where credit's due. You drop your nuts. And honestly, the difference of this game, Chris, was plain simple. Came down to 4th downs. One team was 3 of 4 on 4th down conversions. One team was 1 of 4. You go 25%, you're failing. Failing grade. That's what we saw. Whether or not we got to 50% with that 1 4th down conversion in the 4th quarter, didn't matter. It was already a failing grade. You got to be able to win on the trenches. I think that Iowa State is a very boring offense, but you know what? They know what is their strength. They know how to play to their strengths. They put themselves in a position where they can attack. They attacked, and they did so defensively to where you cost them. I mean, Kansas State fell for the bait, took the top off, touchdown. What a way to go. What a way to go in Dublin. I mean, listen, Matt Campbell ever wants to come to the SEC, he is more than welcome. He has a front row seat to any university in college football, in my opinion. That's how good of a coach he is.
I'm out on the Ireland games. I'm not a fan. I bring them back to U.S. soil. I thought the segment that ESPN did with the locals there in Dublin was the most cringeworthy piece of content maybe I've ever seen. Where and I get what they're trying to do, but they are asking people about, name this college football team. What does this mean in college football? Who's your favorite team? They had what's this team's mascot? Yeah. We got the most, I think one of the answers I heard, by the way, was, what is this team's mascot? And they said Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, somebody said
That's a serious answer. I'm like, listen, I get it. You're trying to grow the game. Let's let the NFL do that. They're the ones doing it. Let them do that. Like, Farmageddon should not ever be played outside of the states of Iowa or Kansas. Or any other, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Ireland game. The SEC, thank goodness, would just never. They would never do it. I don't want them to do it. I was asked over the weekend, wouldn't you love an SEC game to be in Ireland so you could take the trip to Ireland? I would like to go to Ireland. I don't want to go to Ireland for a SEC football game.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. It's in the land of my people. It's in the land of drunk people. It's at a place that I've gone to many a time. I know the Temple Bar owners. Like, it'd be fun for me. Like, I'd enjoy it because I look like a leprechaun already. I'd fit right in with the culture. I'm good.
I mean, dude, can we get a decent playing surface first?
Oh, sure. That would be the one thing.
I mean, the fact somebody hasn't shredded their entire ankle and leg is astonishing. Really, truly. So I don't know, man. I'm not a huge. I loved watching. I didn't care where the game was, but I'm not a huge. They could take the Ireland game away and it wouldn't bother me. But what is it? Michigan and Eastern Michigan's playing? Western
Michigan in Germany next year.
What a wild. That is just so wild.
Okay, so if there was an SEC game that we would have to see played at Aer Lingus Stadium, who would you want to be?
Oh, man. Here's the thing. I don't think you could get Kirby or Sark or any of those guys to agree. I don't think they'd do it. I think they would literally start a war. I just don't think they'd do it. So you'd probably have to get Kentucky, Mississippi State, legit. Vandy, Mississippi State. Maybe you tell Arkansas instead of Little Rock, you're going to go to Dublin to play a game. Although they're getting rid of the Little Rock game. They want that at that other home game. I know that's technically a home game, but you get what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. None. I don't really have a preference, to be honest.
Give me Drink, give me Beamer, give me that all the way out in Dublin. Trust me.
See, listen, that's crazy.
Here's the thing.
That's not crazy.
But it's not for me because it's selfishly. I know a bunch of Mizzou fans and a bunch of South Carolina fans will go. I will go. They will recognize me. They know that I enjoy their content. They enjoy our content when I'm on. They'll pay for my drinks. I won't spend a single dime in Dublin. People will be enjoyously giving me all the praise and approval, and I'll be in the land of my home fathers. Come on. That to me is
hey, why don't we do this, Bear? Why don't we do this? The world's largest outdoor cocktail party can't be played in Jacksonville for the next 2 years.
Yep.
Why don't we just take it to Dublin?
If we're not going to do home and home, why not just send it across?
Let's just take it to Dublin.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Let's see how loyal of a fan base you truly are.
Hey, they were going to be like, hey, Georgia fans, y'all complain the game's been in Florida. Florida fans, y'all complain that Georgia fans invade Jacksonville. You know what? Screw both of you. We're taking it to Dublin.
Take it to Dublin.
Y'all can figure it out from there. Yeah.
Bragging rights. That'll be
probably our best idea yet, honestly.
That one I would agree with. I would.
Yeah, that was a great game, though. I thought it was, I say great kind of loosely, but just the fact football was back on the TV. We had a back and forth competitive game. Again, I can't believe after the first half and it was 7-7, I can't believe the over under was ever in jeopardy, but
In jeopardy.
somehow, some way, we get to the second half, and all of a sudden the offensive fireworks begin. Also, Bear, hilarious Avery Johnson, dad and brother, fighting each other in the postgame. That is a tough look.
So for me, that wasn't the part where I was even annoyed about that. I did not like the statement that was released earlier. I know you had to because of, again, Avery Johnson, it's your son. You want to make sure you show respect to him. But that's what college football is about, is when you're frustrated as all hell about the way that your team acted. I had a buddy of mine who was a Florida State fan. He went to the game last year. He told me that there was a moment that somebody said something a little bit too close for comfort to his liking, and he had a couple of, Guinnesses in him, had a little bit more of a bit of a, what's it called? Liquid courage. And he said that, honestly, completely understand it, because you think that your team should be better than that. Like, that's what college football is at its peak, is when you get to frustrated fans coming out of the woodwork and want to go after each other because of, that you deserve better than this. That your team is better than what was on the field that day. Like, that is what it is. And
I mean, Bear, if you haven't wanted to punch your dad in the face at some point, are y'all really even fans? I mean, come on. Man.
If you haven't wanted to go after your brother because if he has just said one.
Oh, I know the Thompsons were throwing bows over football games.
There have been multiple times I would tell Kyle all the time, shut up. I can't deal with you right now. And he would, and there'd be multiple times like, and again, I am the same fan, like growing up in the household for all sports. I look at it, because of my journalism background, I'm able to take the fan amount at times. And I have seen him come into my face screaming, say it again, say it again, say it again. And I'm just like, it's just the reality. It's like, I don't want reality. I want to suffer and drink my sorrows away. This is what college football is all about. So trust me, I completely get it. I do. I will say, I knew you had to release a statement. You did. But honestly, if it was anybody else out there, and if it wasn't Avery Johnson's family, we all would be sitting here laughing our asses off, because that is peak college football. Fans internally fighting with each other.
It really is. No, that was college football to a T. Loved it. Anyways, that was a fun way to get week 0 going, Bear.
Oh, I'm going to push back on you on one thing. So
yeah,
you were talking about how it's always fun to meet your brothers out into the woodwork and celebrate when you two are betting at the same time and betting on the same thing.
On the same side, yes.
My thing is, I personally love when you're going against somebody who is a very close friend and all you get to do is just give them the middle finger nonstop, tell them how big of a loser they are. They don't know ball. They're idiots. They're morons. I had a buddy come over yesterday and we both had money on the Kansas versus Fresno State game. He took Kansas. I took Kansas at -13. I also took the Jalen Daniels line, which, by the way, I want to talk about him in just a second. Thank you for winning me money, Jalen Daniels, at FANDUEL.com/SECU. But still, I also took -13. I am watching this man as I'm grilling burgers last night, just thundering over every single throw that EJ Warner is making, screaming into his phone. His wife comes outside and it's just like, is everything okay? Yeah, just a third down incompletion. And you would have thought that somebody died in his family. That, to me, when you piss off your friends so badly and you're kicking their ass and betting, knowing that you're going to win money that he is going to lose, and just basically it's going in from his pocket to your pocket. Oh, it is the sweet sensation of victory that you cannot feel. Oh, it's fantastic.
Nothing better than hitting your boy with a simple, you don't know ball.
It's not even that. It's just more so, oh, God, you're an idiot. God, you suck. That, Bear, to me, is one of the best feelings alive.
Bear says he goes right for the jugular, right for
Why
it.
not?
The other one, Bear, so we started obviously 1-1 in the bets. And let me make sure, by the way, I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments here. Not missing any comments. Let's see. We got a bold prediction.
Jerry's. Okay, we want to get Jerry's because I was going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Bold
prediction passes for 3,500 yards.
I'm going to hit under. I'm going to hit under, but not by much. I think it's going to be anywhere between 33 and 34. I do think that's going to be. I think that's going to be fair.
I'll go over. I'll go over for fun.
You are going to go over.
I'm going to go over. Oh, yeah. Star in the making, baby. Manny, by the way, Notre Dame, South Carolina in Dublin, Cox versus Catholics. I like that, actually.
I'm not against it.
I'm not pushing for it. I wouldn't, but if you're going to do a game, sure. That sounds fun. Miami, Notre Dame feels like a game that would have been over there. Honestly.
Well, I mean, they've already been over there. They played who was it? Wake Forest or Army or Navy a few years ago. When Sam Hartman was the starting quarterback, they went there. They went overseas. I remember that. because I was at a pool party that day for like a baby's like 1-year-old birthday. And I kept walking inside and they're like, why don't you want to be outside hanging out with all the rest of your friends? Because I have Sam Hartman hitting the over for 175 on the line and he's hitting at 125. I got to see if my bet's going to hit. Like, I'm sorry, guys. That's just me. Like, cool. That baby's going to turn one once in its lifetime. I'm only going to get $100 back into my bank account once this weekend. So they're the same in my eyes.
Bear, the season just started. We've already got you're right, Bear, about Iowa State's offense being boring. It's a nice way to put it, he says. Yeah, they are boring.
It doesn't mean bad. Boring is not bad. Boring keeps you employed. Like, I tell people all the time, if you don't feel comfortable and you know that your life is on the line, sometimes just stay in the course, get your contract extension. People aren't complaining about that. 10-7 seasons in the NFL.
Yeah. Plain no, I have never been to Don Juan Cigar Bar. I doubt that Bear has either, but I would love to go if you'd like to tell me where it is. By the way, the optimism is running strong as we get into week 1. Wesley Williams says Joey Aguilar for Heisman. All right. Let's relax. Drinking on a Sunday. Here we go. Wesley Williams, Joey Aguilar passes for 3,600 yards.
Now that I could see.
Joey Aguilar going for 3,600?
Are we throwing in 13 to 15 interceptions with it?
Has to be.
That's what I'm saying.
He's slinging it.
That's what I'm saying. Because you didn't say that I couldn't take the interception.
He's going to be like when you play NCAA.
Sure.
And you're throwing for like 500 and you got like 7 touchdowns for like 5 picks.
Sure. Again,
yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'll take that.
Bear, continuing in week 0, the other big one that pushed your boy over the edge, winning day. Should have never doubted the Bows. Hawaii beating Stanford. What was it? You tweeted first Power 4 win for the Bows since 2019? And yes, for those of you that want to talk that talk, Stanford, whether you like it or not, it's Power 4, buddy. They are. I saw some comments saying they're not even Power 4. Yes, they are.
I got an irrational fight last night over nothing.
They are. They are Power 4, whether you want to admit it or not. Favorite part of that, number 1, Bear, we won the bet. That dude, did you see? I'm sure you did because I know you're a sicko and you watched the Stanford guy. Hawaii runs a trick play, blows up. It gets erased because the Stanford dude does the aura farming dance and gets flagged.
Yes, and he gets flagged for it.
Golly.
He does a TikTok dance and they say, nope.
Golly.
Nope, not on my field.
Aura farming goes wrong.
I don't care if you are across the borderlands of the United States. I don't care that we're on the island. There's no fun here.
Aura farming went wrong for him. Yeah. Anyways, that was a huge play, led to a touchdown, and obviously Hawaii walks it off, Bear, with their kicker who learned to kick from YouTube.
Japanese guy too, which is awesome. Yeah. Just like you add all of it to it. This
is why we like college football. We love it because it's just so random and it makes no sense.
Just think about this. Just think about this for a second. So Stanford fires its head coach after they hire Andrew Luck, probably the greatest football player to ever grace Palo Alto. They bring in a former NFL head coach in Frank Reich. They lose all their talent to the transfer portal. They bring in a 6-year senior who was going to medically retire from Oregon State. He wins the job as a walk-on. The starting quarterback for Timmy Chang's Rainbow Warriors gets hurt and is playing on one leg the entire second half. Gulberson gets an incredible pass off on fourth down for a 42-yard gain. The very next play, he throws an interception because the guy wins off the line of scrimmage to get the pick. They run it down. They tie the game. A Japanese kicker who learned how to play on YouTube hits the game winner, and poor clock management, just like Frank Reich did in the NFL that got him fired, led to an 0-1 start for Stanford. College football, baby.
You can't script it. You just can't script it.
Football.
You couldn't write that script. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. And again, Hawaii pushed us over the edge. 2-1 on the day. We love it. We're going to be dropping best bets, by the way, on a weekly basis, guys. Can't wait for that. Really, every Monday night on the overtime drive, we'll have graphics go with it as well. I'm going to force Bear Thompson into giving his picks as well. We're going to track them. We're going to track the bets.
I'm going to be different. I'm not going to do just over-unders or money lines. I'm going to do actual plays because One of my favorite plays this past
Do
week.
the props. Do the props.
Because one of my favorite plays this past week was
take the
Jalen
props.
Daniels, 175 passing yards, over under 1.5 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns on the day, over 200 passing yards.
Retrospect, that felt like an easy play.
It felt so.
Why was that so
Cheap.
low?
It felt cheap. That was where I was. It felt so cheap.
That's it. Yeah. Good for you. I wish you'd have texted me about that.
The other play that I played, which I thought was kind of ridiculous that it was even at this level. And this is my biggest takeaway of the weekend, that it's not going to matter because if he's not going to go to the SEC anytime soon, but Tyson Helton at Western Kentucky, this has got to be the year where he ends up getting a Power 4 job. Like this has to be, because of, once again, this man loses his offense coordinator, loses his quarterback, has to hit reset at the 2 most essential positions. They end up getting another combination, just like they did when they brought in Bailey Zappi and Zach Kitley from Houston Baptist. And you look at what Maverick McIver did, and the line was set at only 260 passing yards. This man went up to Sam Houston and said, "Oh, I'm going to do this before we get to halftime." 400 passing yards, 4 touchdowns on the day, made it look easy. Like, the Hilltoppers are always just such a fun team to play with in college football, because I just love the way that their offense is so vertical. And I remember talking to Tennessee fans when Dave was still with us. We were talking about when they lost Nico and they were going out in the portal, who was the name that they should go after. And I threw out Maverick McIver because of the way that he just fit in this vertical up-tempo passing attack. And yesterday, I felt validated. Like, I truly felt validated. Joey Aguilar, I wish you nothing but the best. I really do. I think that you'll be a great fit for what Josh Heupel wants to run. But I'm just saying, at some point, we have got to give Tyson Helton his flowers. This man constantly is getting players into the NFL. He is punching out top 15 scoring offenses. He's a fun dude. And I would love to see him in a Power 4 job at some point in the not-so-distant future. I don't know where that's going to be, somewhere in the ACC, somewhere in the Big 12. But the man is biding his time. The only thing he's really missing from the mantle at this point is a conference championship. And like, he goes every year with Western Kentucky with a new quarterback and a new OC. But they pair together and it becomes magic out in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah, Western Kentucky, that was a comeback win for them, right? I believe Sam Houston was leading in that
game.
They
were leading at one point, and then
WKU to come back.
Third quarter. Yeah, no, going to, and Kirsten went to Sam, and so we're watching the game. She's like, we can turn this off now. I'm like, no. I need to see what the final line is going to be for McIver. I got to see what he's going to do. 4 tutties on the day. I think it was actually 5 because he ran one too. And then he also had 400 passing yards. Like, I get it. It's a G5 program. It's a dude that's not probably going to get a lot of accolades at the national level. But everyone was making jokes about Rocco Beck being your Heisman favorite. No. Maverick McIver, which also, by the way, great name.
That is a great name.
Elite college football name. That is your Heisman front-runner after yesterday, week 0.
So Western Kentucky gets the dub. Kansas rolls. And how about Dan Mullen over at UNLV? He gets a W over Idaho State.
God.
My biggest regret from yesterday, Bear, was not taking the over in that football game. It felt like it was going to hit. I did not bet on it, and sure enough, it does. But it did, because that was a back-and-forth game. That game was crazy. 38-31.
Idaho State. I mean, like, listen, I was sitting down.
Can you name a single player on Idaho State's team?
No.
I can't
single
either.
one.
I can't either.
I'll
be honest.
I can name one player in the history of Idaho State because he just went in the Hall of Fame, Jared Allen. That's the only guy I can name.
Great Hall of Fame speech, too. Great.
Exactly. But like, that's the only dude I can name. And honestly, I would probably not remember the fact that was a guy, if not for that game. Like, I would not remember that he was on that staff if not for that Hall of Fame speech. And they were talking about him coming in from Idaho State. I would have never known Idaho State was a school. I really wouldn't. It's a D3 school, and they're taking them down to the bottom line. Oh, Jesus.
What's the mascot? Or what's the mascot of Idaho State? Tigers. Okay. Good for Dan Mullen, though. Hey, you know what it did yesterday? Dan Mullen winning. I saw it. I don't know if you noticed it. It got Florida Twitter kind of rustling and bustling a little bit.
Of course it did.
Florida Twitter was a little bothered.
Well, I saw a lot. So I saw when they were down. What was it? Down by 10 at one point, and they had already given up. I think it was like 260 yards of offense. I saw like all of Florida Twitter going, oh, look at that. Dan Mullen once again not knowing defense. Shocker. Just again, already pulling out.
Can't help it. It's like the X. They're like jaded. They want them to fail.
Yeah, of course not.
You know?
Why would they ever want to see Dan Mullen be successful?
Good point. I don't know. Bear. All right, cool. Week 0 in the books. That was a fun one. Had a great time. The gambling side of it really made it what it was. But hey, college football's back. It wet the whistle enough to where it did exactly what I hoped it would. And it set the scene, for what's going to be a fantastic week 1. Bear, let's get into a couple of, now y'all got me on a roll with the questions. Hey, we don't take questions? Bet. Yeah. I can assure you, y'all are a humongous part of this show. Heck, y'all make it more enjoyable when you leave us questions, comments, what have you. I do want to go back to this one, Bear. It's been a Bear love fest tonight. Manny says, Cole, let him know who you got winning the Heisman real quick. I think he wants you to repeat what the clip we dropped today. I think that's what it is. So,
I got Rex Specs down in Columbia, South Carolina, from Lenore Sellers. I do. Have you made your Heisman pick yet?
I haven't. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay, I'll
lock it in tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not going Lenore Sellers. I can tell you that, and it's not because he's not that caliber. I want to make it clear, and I also just don't want to have the same pick as you. So
that's fine.
Yeah,
I will say, if he doesn't get to 9-3, that's the key point. I can understand. Yeah. I can understand where people are like, you have no idea what you're talking about. I also have South Carolina going 9-3 and in the hunt for the college football playoff. So that goes into the theory with it. So if he ends up not winning it, but he ends up being a dude that gets to 3,800 yards, 60, what are we talking about? 40 plus touchdowns. He ends up having completion percentage around, I don't know, 80. He gets a percentage around 68%, 69%. Nice. Like overall, that's what you want. He's just not on a team where voters are going to do it. And this is the other thing that I hate about the voter situation is that the voters don't always give it to the right people. I'm not arguing that there was a few years ago when you had the Jaden Daniels situation and he went to a 9-3 team, but there are things that when you look at in the history of just this overall thought process, the people that vote, they never lose their Heisman votes. They'll stat line watch. And sometimes they'll also look at the records and they'll say, because of this player was on this team, he ends up getting the award and the accolade because of it. So again, it also comes down to are we going to see Lenore Sellers be on a team that gets a couple of upset wins and is in the hunt down the stretch? Because if they are, then yeah, I can see it happening. But not like DJ Lagway was a name that I considered. But also, am I sold that Florida is going to get to that 9-3 range to where he's going to be the guy that gets the job done?
Wesley Williams says, we love Bear. Calls him the teddy bear. All right. We're getting a little too far.
We're pushing a line here.
We're going a little too far here. Chris Cobb says Kansas is going to beat Missouri. Interesting. That'll be a fun preview. Glad that rivalry's back.
I would say, listen, Border War is going to be awesome.
What did you think watching Kansas about? I mean, did you have any takeaways about what it means for Mizzou?
Their offense is fun. Their offense is a lot of fun. I don't know where we're going to get Kansas in the Big 12 because honestly, they're still one of those teams that because of who they have as quarterback, and I liked some of the additions they brought in at wide receiver. They brought in the Columbia kid, Jackson Canty. He didn't play yesterday. He's hurt right now. But still, their offense has a dynamics value, and their quarterback's coach is now the OC, and he was working alongside with Jason Bean in the year they went 9-4. I think if they could at least make this an interesting game. I don't think that they're going to win. I think that Mizzou's going to win. But this is going to be a very back-and-forth battle. And honestly, for me, just as somebody that grew up in Big 12 country, watching this game every single year, I have family friends that went to Kansas. I have people that I love on my other side of the family that have Mizzou ties. Like, it's a good game for me just because I want this to be a battle. Like, I want this to be back when I was 13 years old watching as Sean Witherspoon was going up against Jared Zabriskie. Like, I want that level of play between these two because there is validity to this rivalry.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I thought it was interesting in Kansas. They did look good. Jalen Daniels is a fun quarterback. So
very fun quarterback.
That will be we got to figure out who Mizzou's quarterback is first, but it's going to be a fun one. Toxic, very toxic, and we love that. Let's see. We'll take a few more, then we're going to get into some other topics. Love to see our guy Gig'em Bart in the chat. What's going on? Commenting on Bo Molinari. Both of our favorite Aggies up in here. Says Marcel Reed for the Heisman. It is hype season, buddy. It is hype season, no doubt. Not saying Marcel Reed can't do it. I'm just saying it's hype season. Everybody
I
can win
will
the Heisman
say
right
of
now.
all the quarterbacks that I'm excited to see this upcoming weekend, Marcel Reed is probably number one. Just because I want to see what he's actually going to be this year. Like, I really do, because I just don't know right now. He could end up being one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. He could end up being a middle of the pack guy. But his play is going to be the thing that I think either elevates or holds back Texas A&M this year.
Yeah, I think that's fair. A lot of quarterbacks you could say that about in the SEC as well. Finally, our guy Sandman, what's up? Speaking of Texas, we got the Aggies in here. We got the Longhorns in here. Sandman, glad you're here, part of the show. All right, Bear, let's keep it moving, get into some other topics here. Garrett Nussmeier, we found out today he will be rocking the number 18 this season for the Bayou Bengals. Why is that a big deal? Well, it's a very big deal down in Baton Rouge. The history, the tradition of the number 18, what it means, what it embodies. The last quarterback, Bear, to wear 18 for the LSU Tigers, Matt Mauck. What did Matt Mauck do? He won a national championship. So the pressure was going to be on Garrett no matter what. Now, certainly, you are carrying what it means to be number 18. That's a big deal. Also, Bear, I think it's a big deal to maybe the growth and maturation of a Mr. Garrett Nussmeier. What say you?
It's a big deal, in my opinion, because of this is a guy that has won over the locker room. I think that is probably the biggest selling point. You got to realize there are two numbers that are historic towards LSU, 7 and 18. If you get that number, that's usually voted on by the people inside the building. That's usually voted on by your teammates. There's a reason why people hold the number to a high standard. And for Nuss, coming on back, he could have gone pro. He made it clear that this is where he wanted to be. He bided his time. He did things the right way. He made sure that he continuously built around the team. He always sold LSU as a program that has all the potential in the world. It just speaks validity to who he is as a player and how much people believe in him that he is going to be the guy this year. And I think it means a lot because of, again, you look at the history of that number 18 for the quarterback position, because the number's worn every single year, but for a quarterback to wear that number, that's somebody to when you join that fraternity, it's a very special overall ambiance. But the other thing is, it puts a lot of pressure on you. And honestly, it's well-deserved pressure. Because LSU this season, let's just talk about it. They're a team that when we view them as an overall rising star, they're going to live or die based off of how we see this offense continue to flourish. They are. Are we going to see Garrett Nussmeier take that next jump forward? Because I believe in this defense. I know there are people out there that still want to see it against Clemson. They want to see it against South Carolina, Florida early on in the year. I believe in this defense. I got to see what Garrett Nussmeier is going to be now that they're restarting over with the offensive line. Now that you wonder, how are they going to have that run game? What are they going to have in the passing attack? Can we see the turnovers kind of dwindle down just a little bit? Can he make the jump the way that Burrow did and the way that Jaden Daniels did? And if he does, the only thing that's really going to stop LSU from going to a national title or at least fighting for a national title is itself. And honestly, the miscommunication and the mistakes that they make on the field, because everything else is there. But I think it's a tremendous honor for him. I think it's a good move by LSU to give it to their quarterback. And I think it leaves no doubt that this is the guy that they want to go to battle with, because they could have given that number to anybody. They could have easily said, you know what, we're going to go and hand it off to a running back that speaks about the volume of what we do in practice and is never late or has always made sure that he asks the right questions, whatever it is. They could have given it to a defensive lineman or a defensive end because of he's winning his one-on-ones. He's been impressing everybody. They gave it to the quarterback. They gave it to the person that carries the most volume on the team and probably faces the most scrutiny and the most pressure. People will always find a way to raise up the quarterback when he does the right things. They cannot wait to tear him down when he makes one mistake. It's an honor to wear that number for Garrett Nussmeier. And honestly, I think he's going to ball out in it.
Yeah, it's an ultimate vote of confidence. I think people need to realize internally what it means. Like you said, Bear, he's not only won over the entire locker room, but the entire program as a whole. Doesn't guarantee anything on field. You know, you still got to go out there and make the right plays, make the right decisions, more important than anything. But I definitely think it shows there has been a growth, a maturation. Garrett Nussmeier is in the best possible position to have the best possible season he's had in Baton Rouge to this point. So we'll see how it plays out, but I do think it is an honor they take from people I talk to they take it very, very seriously. And again, not all of, I was curious, not all of their 18s have been superstars, but Garrett Nussmeier has probably as high a ceiling as anybody who's rocked that number. We had a couple comments. Our guy Plain commented Jacob Hester was another great number 18. I think he might be the greatest 18.
I think he's the greatest.
Yeah, I think he's the greatest number 18 they've had, certainly. Matt Mauck, another one like I mentioned. Garrett Nussmeier very well could be the latest legend. Certainly if he does what I think you and I think he's capable of, get some help around him, he will go down as a legend at LSU, especially the fact he stayed, he endured, he fought through adversity, waited his time in an era where that is not the norm. So
the other thing is this, I think it's really important that he has just won over everybody in practice. I think that you hear the reports coming out of camp,
Apparently he's looked good in practice. Talking to our guy Blake Ruffino, I mean, he's boots on the ground every practice, and he tracks it all. I mean, Blake is very thorough. We'll put it that way.
Well, Blake also is not afraid of ruffle some feathers.
No, he's not. He's not. He told me this time last year in fall camp, I think I know that Nuss was up to double-digit interceptions thrown in practice. He's kept those down around 3 or 4. So, I mean, take it for what it's worth. Practice does translate to a degree. How much? I mean, I don't know that you take fall camp as gold, but it's a good sign. It's a good sign. So
he's in a very good spot to where if he's only building,
he's not a bad Heisman pick now.
No,
not a bad Heisman pick.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I'm just saying. Well, I didn't lock it in. I'm just saying he's not a bad pick.
Let's be fair. Those were the two that I was deciding between: Lenore Sellers and Garrett Nussmeier.
He's going to put up. He should put up crazy numbers.
And again, this is what we got to go back to that I always argue about with the community. And let me get your opinion on this. Are you looking at numbers or are you looking at the value of the player? Because
now we have to have a whole conversation about what really is the Heisman Trophy about.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Is it? How do you define the Heisman? Is it college football's best player? Most impactful, most important, craziest statistical year. I mean, yeah, I absolutely.
Because I can tell you right now, there's only been one time I have been furious at a Heisman Trophy award going to one player. Let me phrase that. There's been twice. One is when Tua Tagovailoa lost to Kyler Murray. Not taking anything away from Kyler, but it felt like it was Tua's all the way up until the Big 12 title game, and then just swooped it away. The other one was Max Duggan and Caleb Williams. I was vehemently on the argument that Max Duggan deserved the award because of how well he had played, living up to what is supposed to be that honor, which is college football's most impactful player. But if we were talking about just best player, Caleb Williams won the award fair and square. Nobody is going to bat a second eye about that. But that was like the one time. So this could be the same thing. If Lenore Sellers is carrying South Carolina to a college football playoff berth, he may end up being the most important and impactful player in the sport. But if Garrett Nussmeier is throwing for 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns against 7 interceptions with a passer rating of 192.5, like that's the guy that's going to win the award. And we know that because he's on a team that also is probably playing for a conference title, college football playoff appearance, even if he's not the most impactful player in the sport. He may end up being one of the most impactful, but he certainly is probably looking like the best.
Bear, let's keep it moving. Keep talking quarterbacks. Bryce Underwood, reported by Matt Zenitz over at, I believe, he's still with CBS, right? CBS.
Yeah, 24/7 Sports.
Okay, that's right. 24/7. Anyways, Matt Zenitz reporting. Bryce Underwood is going to be named the starting quarterback officially for Michigan on Monday. Of course, why do we care? Well, number one, Michigan's a pretty noteworthy program. Number two, Oklahoma plays Michigan in week 2. That certainly will impact that football game. Bear, we expected it was going to be Bryce Underwood, but now that we know, your thoughts on the prized recruit that was Bryce Underwood getting the nod?
He is going to be tested early. I mean, let's just call it as is. You get the first game, get out of the way. You go into Norman. It's not going into Norman, Oklahoma, because you go to Memorial Stadium last season. There were teams that marched on in there that were able to do nothing, like due diligence against Oklahoma. You're doing it against a Brent Venables defense with Brent Venables calling the shots. If he ends up having a phenomenal day and out-dueling or at least keeping pace with John Mateer, number one, Michigan's rebuild or retooling is going to be miles ahead of what it was compared to the way we felt. But also, I think it speaks volume on, listen, you think that a quarterback is worth X amount of dollars coming out of high school instead of going in the transfer portal? He kind of lived up to the hype. He kind of proved it. Because if I'm not saying that he can't end up losing to Nebraska in 2 weeks, or he can't end up having a bad game against USC on the road, I think that when you look at what is going to be going up against a Brent Venables defense, that's a great test. It's a great litmus test because I've made this clear multiple times with you, and I think most people, if I get to pick anybody just to be my defensive coordinator, head coach, current DC, first name I'm calling is probably Brent Venables. If I'm not going Jim Knowles at Penn State, I'm going BB. Because I just trust him with that side of the football. And I certainly trust him against a quarterback making his second career start and his first road start. That's another thing. So this may be a moment where Michigan ends up kind of showing the world we mean business in 2025. This might also be a moment where we as SEC fans are coming back on here Sunday Funday in 2 weeks and going, I'll tell you what, Brent Venables may have his hands, kind of in a bind because it was he's a freshman quarterback making his first career road start. But I'll tell you what, that defense looks good. That defense, once again, looks potent. They're going to make plays. They're going to go after your quarterback. They're going to put you in a position where if you are not clicking on all cylinders, you are dropping that game. Oklahoma is right back in the running to be a college football playoff threat. Like, you may honestly feel that way because of the way this game is.
Yeah, but again, we expected Barrett would be Bryce Underwood, but now that it's official, yeah, I think it was already going to be a must-win game. But yeah, it's absolutely a game where Brent Venables, the defense, you should be licking your chops. You got a youngster coming to your place. You don't let a freshman quarterback come into your place and win a football game. There's no shot. So I think there should be confidence. There should be excitement. But also, who knows? Maybe Bryce Underwood, that's sort of his welcome to college football moment in the positive for him. And he shows out, balls out. Who knows? Excited to watch him play. But, yeah, I mean, you're thrown in the fire, man. I mean.
So you think right now Oklahoma faces more pressure to win this game?
Yes.
I would say so.
Yes.
Especially because of
you got a freshman quarterback coming to your place at night. If you lose that game, I don't know how you could spin that as you should win that game. I don't know how you can spin it any other way. Like, you have to win that football game.
Because you can't even say, well, our offense wasn't able to connect against this defense, because that's not an excuse either. You went out in the portal to bring in John Mateer and his offense coordinator to be that pairing that elevates the status of where you were a season ago.
Yeah, and you can't, I don't think you can reach your goals, aka 9-3 or better, losing that football game.
Oh, I
think you have to win that football game. That one, and I think probably Auburn too, which I know we talked about, but.
Well, let's think about this. If they were to lose both those games, and I'm not saying that they're going to win both, but if they lose both those games going into Red River,
Venables is cooked.
You're good. I think just to survive the rest of the season, you're going to have to win Red River. And that means just survive until the end of the year. That's all. I'm not even saying you may still lose your job at the end of the year, but just to get to November, Red River becomes a must win, because I don't know how you're going to be able to keep your job afterwards.
Yeah, it is funny how we sit here, Bear, and everybody, the waters are fairly calm right now. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody's excited. There's high expectations and optimism everywhere in the prospects of the season. Give it 2 or 3 weeks. There's going to be people scrambling. There's going to be people hitting the panic button because of what happens in 180 or so minutes of football combined to that point.
What's going to be really funny is you could still win both those games, and you still will have people hitting the panic button because of what they think about the team that they went up against. That's what I think.
Good point. It's a good point. Yeah. It's going to be a fun season, man. I'm excited for it. But again, feel good about Oklahoma in that game. We'll talk about it the week of, obviously more in depth, but a freshman coming to Norman, and maybe yours truly coming to Norman as well. Let's wait and see. Bear, I think that's going to do it for the football chat. I don't think we really had any other big-time breaking news. We're not going to touch on what the latest rumor was with a certain quarterback that is in a certain game on Saturday night. I respect the people over at Message Board Geniuses and what they do, but let's stop spreading player injury misinformation. There's funnier rumors we can make up here. Maybe it will be true, but I'm not spinning them.
Let me just throw this out here, guys. Pete Nakos, Matt Zenitz, Brandon Marcello, Chris Hummer, Richard Johnson, Chris Lowe. Make sure you follow those guys, because if they report on it, then there's some validity behind it. Bruce Feldman too. If any of them don't report on it, take it with a grain of salt. You know, like don't laugh about it. Don't have a chuckle, but like just take it with a grain of salt. And certainly don't go onto other message boards and start saying how the season's lost and how the world is coming to an end and how you decided to bet your life savings on this player winning the Heisman Trophy, and now he may not play football for the entire year. Like, let's just go ahead and wait until one of those guys reports on it, okay? Because this is lying season, it's message board season, and there's a bunch of college football sickos out there that cannot wait to go ahead and ruin your Sunday night. They love doing it.
Well said by the Bear. Well said. Again, just be careful out here in these Twitter streets. Be careful out there on those message board streets as well. Guys, we're going to run back into your questions, your comments. I want to hear from you. Before we do, though, really quickly, I want to tell you about our schedule for the upcoming 2025 football season, just to give you guys an idea, keep you in the loop. I'm sure all of you out there are writing this down on all of your calendars. You're so just ready to jot it. I know you guys will just follow along. That's why you just subscribe, hit the bell icon, notifications pop up. You'll know when we're dropping content. But I am really excited. I am really, really excited from a selfish standpoint, Bear, because we continue to grow as a company. We continue to scale in regards to our content, what we're doing. Obviously, you all know the SEC Unfiltered Tour is happening. It's going to be happening the entire season. Starting this weekend, it is game week. Yours truly going to be traveling up to Columbus, Ohio for Texas, Ohio State. And then, of course, we are off and running in the 2025 season. That was a given. That was something you already knew. But differences in last year and this year. Last year, Bear, the overtime drive didn't exist.
Nope.
We had Sunday Funday, but we had nothing else outside of previews, predictions. I'm excited to chop it up with you more often during the week, during the college football season, because we do have the overtime drive. We're going to have it on Sunday nights, a.k.a. our Sunday Funday. We're going to have our Monday show, which essentially is going to serve as preview, a lot of gambling talk. We'll lock in some best bets, obviously other news, notes. This is the SEC football cycle and college football. We know there will be tons of stuff that are happening. Crazy things will be said by coaches. Injury reports will come out. Everything in between. We'll discuss it all and kind of give the early week preview. And granted, we're going to have previews dropping on top of that for individual games. That Monday show will be a lot of fun, obviously. And then Thursday. We'll come to you on Thursday as well, Thursday nights. It's going to be our big pick'em show. So if you follow along with the game-by-game previews predictions, you're already going to know our picks. That you guys are familiar with our pick'em graphics we drop on Thursdays. They have all of our picks, track our records. We're going to pull that up. We're going to have that on screen, kind of just like a last-minute cleanup, if you will, put it all together, go game by game. We'll kind of lock in all of our pick'em stuff. Bear and I can debate, go back and forth, tell each other how wrong we are for
because you're going to be wrong a lot. I mean, let's be real.
Whatever picks we disagree on, we can go back and forth and fight over it. And we can fight with you guys too. That'll be a lot of fun. So you get us 3 times a week on the overtime drive. Also, really excited for this. And I saw some comments, by the way, Bear. And I appreciate you all. I'd love to hear your suggestions. We're always open to suggestions, to feedback. Obviously, we really care about what our audience wants, what our audience thinks. We want to give you guys more of what you value, what you enjoy. Saw a lot of you clamoring for a call-in show yet again. Maybe that'll happen. I do know, and maybe this will be part of it, but I'm not 110% sure on the name. The name I have played around with is, instead of SEC Unfiltered, it's Saturdays Unfiltered. And essentially we're going to have a Monday segment. I'm going to have a Monday segment where I go live, or it'll be pre-recorded something for about an hour. And what it is to accompany and piggyback off of the vlog, essentially. I got a lot of feedback from people that told me, Bear, hey, we really enjoyed when you went live on Mondays and you kind of decompressed the weekend. You talked about what went down over the weekend. Hey, listen, I mean, dude, Oxford's a great example. I talked about why Ole Miss was so awesome, what made Oxford special. Dude, Lane Kiffin's out here reposting it. So I want there to be a dedicated segment every week. There's the vlog, yes, but I kind of want to accompany that with a, hey, here's kind of the behind the scenes of the behind the scenes. Here was my personal experience, the people we met, the places we went, the things we did, the experiences we had. That's going to be every single Monday. I'm thinking Saturdays unfiltered. I might come up with something else a little bit more catchy over the next week. Either way, that's going to be a Monday segment, which is going to be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll incorporate voicemails or calls or questions in that hour segment. That could be cool too. Just stay tuned for that. Guys, again, game previews and predictions bleeding out the wazoo. We're going to have power rankings. First edition of those come out tomorrow. My guy Bear is going to have his own power rankings as well, ranking the tiers of these teams in the league. Content bleeding out of the eyeballs. Another one, though, and I think this is my last one I'll throw out there. Bear doesn't even know about this.
I don't think so.
I don't think you do. So last year we made an attempt to do like a game day show. Not like College Game Day, but kind of our own version. And I liked it. I liked the premise. I liked the idea. But about halfway through the season, I realized some of the errors in my thought process and my execution. So here's the adjustment we're making this year. We are going to do a game day show of sorts, but it's not going to drop on Saturdays. Because when it drops so early on Saturday morning, it's like, hey, we're already the game day. There's no time for this to marinate at all. There's no time to publish clips or anything fun. We're going to drop it Bear on Fridays instead. Instead of it being the SEC Unfiltered game day show, it's going to be the SEC Unfiltered kickoff show. And we are going to have this is going to be kind of your off-the-wall guests. Maybe people we wouldn't normally have on. Bear, our week one guest is locked in. If you've been on social media in any form or fashion, you know who this is. You've at minimum seen him because he has a grand total of 841,000 followers on Instagram. It is my good friend who I am so ecstatic to get on, an SEC football fan himself, Biggie Cook the Book. Mr. Cook the Book himself, a follower of SEC Unfiltered. I reached out to him and said, hey, man, you want to come cook the book in week one? You want to come lock in some picks? You want to go talk a little shit? He said, hell yeah. So we're going to have Biggie cook the book week one. Going to be a really, really fun show. I'd imagine the clips that will come from this will be just completely outrageous, which the wackier, the better.
The wackier, the better. Is the big
that will be on Friday. We'll probably drop that Fridays at like 10 a.m., noon, something like that, whatever. Well, probably noon. I say noon. We'll air that like at noon. Going to be a lot of fun. That's just going to be another thing we're going to do. And also throughout the weeks, guys, we'll have interviews. We'll have different conversations. Bear will be doing some stuff. I'll be doing some stuff. We'll be doing some joint stuff. Bear's going to be manning the Instagram account. Maybe he and I both at times will be on it, but he's going to be on there doing other stuff. Again, that's why you got to follow. That's why you got to subscribe. That's why, because if you don't have the notifications on, you ain't going to keep up.
Yeah.
Cut the Twitter notifications on. Cut the IG notifications on. Hey, cut the Facebook notifications on. I don't know if TikTok has them, but if they do, do it. They probably don't, but it's okay. Either way, it's going to be a fun season. I just want to let you guys know who are tuned in, know our plans, fire y'all up. We really appreciate y'all. The reason we get so excited to make so much content is because we have a great audience that engages with us, that consumes it, that supports it. We would not be as motivated to do all that we do if we did not have such a great community showing love to us. So, Bear, I'm fired up because, again, we had a great football season last year. I mean, a great season, and we're taking what we did and we're doing more. We're building off that momentum, and that's exciting, my friend. So
it's going to be a fun year.
I'm pumped. I'm very pumped.
We got the first happy hour on Friday on the Instagram account. Yeah. So we're going to do that. I'm going to try and look into seeing if I can do it on TikTok too and like kind of gel it together. Yeah. Facebook, do it all. If we can, great. If not, well, definitely on Instagram. We got tier lists coming out. We got a show tomorrow. We got, what is it, like 7 more previews to finish up before Tuesday morning. So, you know, this is
we have 10. 10. We have 10. We have done 6 games. We have 10.
We have 10 more to do.
2.5 days. So they will be a lot of quick hitters. We're going to show love to everybody, preview every game, but I promise you, I'm not going to talk your ear off about Georgia Marshall or even Mizzou Central Arkansas. Sorry, Mizzou fans, but we'll get it in, get it out, get it over with.
For that, though, Chris, I mean, like, let's be real. If you're losing to Central Arkansas,
Right,
You got
right,
fewer
right.
problems than just why we didn't give you 20 minutes worth of action.
Right. There's storylines, but listen, I don't think either Bear or I are going to have a lot of suspense when it comes to the predictions.
Like I saw somebody say, how dare you not give more time to Virginia Tech? And I'm just like, I gave you 30 minutes.
Although
what more
Bear,
do you need?
you are on the Kentucky Toledo preview. I will be very excited to watch that.
I am not excited for that one. I have
and you have Mississippi State Southern Miss.
Okay, I'm just going to be completely fair on this one. One of them is going to end up in a loss. One of them is going to end up in a win. You should subscribe to the channel and follow me at Mr. Cole Thompson.
Figure out which one it is.
Yeah, but you know which one is which, because I'm just telling you, one of them is losing, one of them is winning. I'm not going to tell you who is who just yet. But I've started doing my research. I am not excited to do those two previews because I'm going to have to hold an SEC hands. I'm going to have to hold an SEC fan's hand while I deliver the news that they're not walking away from this one. It is not going to be
Kentucky
pretty.
and State fans both sharpening their spears as they're listening to this, just like we're waiting.
I've accepted that this is going to be a year where I am going to meet somebody randomly out and about, and they're like, "I'm a Kentucky fan," or "I'm a Mississippi State fan." I heard what you said about me. You don't know where I live. Just don't follow me home. I'm going to have to go drive like an extra 2 hours away to throw you off the scent on where I actually live and reside at the times. Because I don't need you coming to my house knocking on my door. I don't need you doing that at 1:30 in the morning.
Let's not come to the Bears residence. Let's not do that.
Let's not go to the den. We're not going to go to the den anytime soon.
Don't go to the cave. Don't do it. All right, Bear, let's before we get out of here, I think that's about it. Let's roll through some questions, some comments. Joshua Blanton says roll tide. What's up, Josh?
Roll Tide.
Appreciate you tuning in. JM Jones, love to Lafayette and all my Louisiana people. Hell yeah. Love our folks down in Louisiana. Sandman, let's meet in Ohio. Dude, you tell me where all the Texas fans are going. I know my guy CJ Vogel's going to be there from On Texas. He and I will be linking up Friday. I think On Texas actually has an event, he said, and then we will be exploring the city of Columbus on Friday night. We'll figure out what's going on. But yeah, I mean, dude, just let me know where you're at. I mean, I'm going to get in town Friday, probably around lunch, maybe a little bit after, and just going to kind of go to the campus, go to the stadium, wander around. I've heard really good things about Columbus. So yeah, wherever y'all are at, let's link up. Let's do it, man. We'd love to link up. Plane 337 Lafayette, Louisiana in the house. Peace. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Plane, we appreciate you. Eric says LSU will be 11-2, and we'll have a home game in the playoffs. LSU is going to shake the earth. It's going to be so loud, and tickets will go for $1,000. Can't wait. Here, I know why you made that face, Barry, because if you're 11-2, you won the SEC title, so you don't have a home game.
I was just saying you're not getting a home game. You're getting the first round bye.
You need to be 10-2, not go to Atlanta, and then you will get one.
Yeah, that's like when I saw 11-2, I'm like, okay, hang on. So you went 11-1 and then lost in the SEC title. Well, still you'll get the number 4 seed. Like, if anything, you gotta go 10-2. Like, you can't get that 11th win because then you're just not getting that home game. Which also, let me ask you, what is your thought on this? Get the first round bye or get a home game at Death Valley at night?
Well, and I would say this: get it. I mean, you're not going to go into the season and be like, well, let's make sure we lose this game so we cannot. No. Yeah. But what would you prefer? I mean, you want to win the SEC,
sure,
right? You do. Also, it'd be sick to have a home playoff game. Bear, we didn't have a home SEC playoff game last year, did we?
Not a single one. That
has to change this year. That has to.
At least one.
At least one. We got screwed out of that.
South Bend, State College, and Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, yeah.
And then what was the fourth one? State College, Columbus, South Bend, Indiana, and it was in Austin. We didn't have an SEC.
Yeah,
game.
That's right. That's what we did.
That's right.
No, my bad. Sorry, Texas.
Yeah, I was like, never mind.
I don't know why we forgot that, but yeah. Anyways, we need more than one. We need more than one, damn it. Need more than one. Bo Molinari is coming from an Aggie. How in the world is everyone so sold on Mateer and Arbuckle? That kid better be as skilled as Diego. Well, Bo, you are in luck because I think John Mateer probably is as skilled as Diego Pavia.
I was saying, but
That's a good sign.
If we're going to talk about Baba Yaga, we're going to make sure that we compare.
I mean, I think Bo is complimenting him.
I would hope he is.
He said he better be as skilled as Diego.
Look, so here's my thing. and after last night, I get my validation for this. Something about an offense coordinator and quarterback combo going to the same school together just gives me like an ease of confidence. Like it just does. Like I'm very high on Utah this year because they brought in Devin Dampier and his offense coordinator from New Mexico. I really like the fact that Abilene Christian's OC went to Western Kentucky and said, I got a QB named Maverick McIver. By the way, just a sick name. He's supposed to be flying planes in the Air Force, but you know what? We can have him play college football in Bowling Green, Kentucky. That'll be fine for us. So they end up putting on masterful numbers last night. There's just a comfortability for me when it comes to the OC and the QB from the same school reuniting in a new place. I don't know what it is. Like, if it's just the fact that I know that their offense is going to be humming, that there's not much of a drop off. But whenever I see that, I usually believe you're going to hit. I don't know what it is. Like I have a bold bet with our buddy Jake Crane that Devin Dampier leads the Big 12 in rushing this year, just because of how much I trust this offense to run through him in Salt Lake City. So it's like, if you give me that same OC, I'm kind of sitting back and shutting up and just letting things roll.
Oklahoma's definitely that team, Bear, where they are either going to, because they're starting to get, they've been getting crazy hype. They are either going to live up to it or they are going to crash and burn miraculously. Like it is going to just go one way or the other. I don't know how much gray area we'll have there. We'll see.
You know what's funny about that? Neither would surprise me either.
No,
neither outcome.
No, I'd agree. So I would agree. Bo has another good comment. Heisman's too heavily skewed to quarterback. It's supposed to go to the best player. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, it's a quarterback outside of what Travis Hunter did last year. It's a quarterback award.
But he also had to prove that he was better than every single quarterback that was out there. That was the thing too. Is that like if it's a year where a quarterback is somewhat better than the offensive skill player, then you're just going to give it to the quarterback. But in years where the quarterback is certainly far behind, like Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward, Cam had a better argument than Dylan, but still there was not as big of an argument when you come to Travis Hunter playing two ways.
Well, let's not forget Ashton Genty was the people's Heisman.
Yeah. So. And honestly, you know what? I would have given him the award. I would have.
Just leave it at that. So, Volcano, which coach in the SEC is going to be the surprise hottest seat after this year? Beamer, Drinkwitz, or Elko? Dude, Beamer is not going to be on the hot seat, man. I'm telling you, they'd have to go 4-8. Like, even if they go 6-6, Bear, Beamer's not on. His seat is like warmish, but Beamer has bought himself so much goodwill, dude. Like just so much. Like Beamer is South Carolina. South Carolina is Beamer. I just don't see it, man. I really don't. I mean, I guess no coach is immune to the effects of losing, but boy, they'd have to just really tank. So, and I don't think like Drink to me has kind of reached untouchable levels.
He's
maybe Elko. If
So
they went 6-6.
So let's go with that. So you said Beamer at 4-8 would be facing a warm seat, right?
I mean, if it like imploded, then yeah. I mean, I think that in an extreme circumstance, anybody's seat could get hot, right? Like, I mean, but like in a realistic, I think Beamer's, there'll be competitive pressure, but I don't think it'll be enough to be like, yeah, he's on a warm seat or a hot seat. I don't know. I don't think
if you told me that, no, so what I'm trying to say is like, you think it's a warm seat at best if you go 4-8.
Right.
It would be a warmer seat for Elko at 4-8.
Oh,
but
for sure.
But even still, let's still Drink out this conversation. Drink's not going anywhere.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Elko hasn't built up like the goodwill that Beamer's built up with his fan base. So that's why.
And that's the difference. Is like because of. By the way, Drink is out of this conversation completely. They could go 4-8 this year, and he's fine.
Dude, yeah, what he's done with that program is
so crazy. That's a moot point. I think Beamer again. You would have to lose a lot of recruits that currently are signed on. Like they just planted the 5-star Josiah Gray. Like he would have to say, I don't want to be here, and it's because of who is leading the charge. Like I cannot stand Shane Beamer. He'd have to come out with like a statement saying this guy is the single worst person alive for you to start losing equity if you're him. If you're 4-8, and by the way, if you're 4-8 with Texas A&M, that's a big problem because even with injury stockpiling up and little things, I still feel like that wouldn't be enough. Like it wouldn't, because you shouldn't be going 4-8. If you go 4-8 down in College Station this year, there's a lot more issues, and you're probably firing your entire offensive staff. You're probably hitting reset on defense. You're going in the portal and you're making some major adjustments. You're revamping the way that you go about recruiting. So yeah, that would be it. But even still, it would be a lot to get to that level. A lot to get to that level. So I don't know if any of them would be. Of the three, Elko would be the one. I think.
Because again, he has built up the least goodwill with his own fan base.
Right. But even still, that would be, you would have to have a horrendous season that I just don't think is possible on college.
Yeah, that I think realistically is probably, realistically is just not going to happen. So, Bear, let's take these last two from Joshua Blanton, and then we will call it a night, and we will get out of here. Joshua Blanton says, I saw a prediction for Texas at 11-1, 7-1. They got them beating Ohio State. I would imagine so. I don't know whose prediction that was because I had them at 10-2. I would imagine the one loss. Well, yeah, it's 7-1. Obviously, the loss to beat Ohio State because they have one conference loss. Duh.
Oh, I have them at 11-1.
Okay,
so that's my prediction. So.
Okay, that is yours. Okay, all right, and you've got them losing probably to Georgia, I'd assume.
No, I have them losing to Florida.
Oh, that's right, beating Georgia between the hedges. Okay, you heard the Bear.
Yeah.
Bear said
now,
it.
Again, this is going into week one when everyone can be happy-go-lucky and pretend all is right.
You're going. Okay, you are going Texas against Ohio State. That is right.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and I'm going Ohio State. Okay,
yes.
Like an idiot. All right, fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
I will say Joshua's next quote is actually why a big reason you go for it.
First-year quarterbacks 0-18 against the number one team since like 2000. A long time.
I get what he's saying. It's a first-year quarterback going up against the number one team in the country. Texas number one, which also, do you find it weird? Because FanDuel released again their recently updated odds on what is the spread, and there's still, what is it, 2.5 points?
2.5 point dog.
Are you still okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, it feels like you could go either way. I just think it goes back to what I said about the game, Bear. There's two things for me that stand out here. Number one, Ohio State has the best players in this football game on offense and on defense. They have the two best players. I think defensively you can make an argument with Anthony Hill or Colin Simmons, whoever you – I know there's some debate on who the best player is for them. You could make the debate with they and Caleb Downs. You could. There's that, and then there's the factor of I know Arch Manning has played, but he's still a new quarterback, and you got a brand-new offensive line at the shoe. When you factor all that in, and it's at the shoe, I think that's why they get the nod. Because if you think about it, home field is worth 3 points, essentially. So if this game were on a neutral site, it's a pick 'em. If it's at Texas, they're a 3-point favorite.
Right.
I think it's fair. I think because of that, when you factor all that in, it's fair. I think it's fair.
So I want to apologize to Ohio State fans because I was not entirely factual. Now, I wasn't entirely wrong, but I was entirely factual. They don't have 4 new starting offensive linemen. They have 4 offensive linemen that are taking over who didn't start the year with the first team offense. But they have playing experience.
Bear, I got to be honest with you. I have not even read the comments from that preview we did because I'm like, I don't even want to look.
Exactly.
So although we've gotten a lot of love from Ohio State fans.
So I apologize to the Buckeye fans that I ignored the fact that you do not have 4 new starting offensive linemen. What I will say though is, for me personally, if you are Julian saying you're blessed with 3 incredible wide receivers and a good tight end, Max Clare, and add that together with it, that's another thing to where doesn't matter your first year quarterback. You're at home, you have a good offensive line, you have a run game, you have 2 wide receivers that are probably top 10 in college football. They're going to be able to have the opportunity to strike early and strike often. They do. They very much can. If they can gel, let's say within the first 2 drives, there is going to be a lot of pressure on Texas to strike early.
It's going to be a fun one, Bear. Hey, we've officially made it. Week 1. Here we are. Welcome to it. It's only going to continue for us. Tomorrow night, the Overtime Drive will return, of course, and we'll start talking really even more in depth than we have. Week 1, some best bets, other news and notes. There's always stuff for us to talk about, man. Bear and I could ramble about complete nonsense. Heck, we do. We do all the time. So, yeah, no, we appreciate y'all. Again, we'll be taking your questions, your comments, anything else. That'd be a great, hey, those Monday nights would be a great opportunity to get we want to hear you guys' predictions. We want to hear you guys' opinions. You got thoughts on our predictions you like, don't like, whatever. Your bold takes on a Monday. We'd love to hear it. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Overtime Drive, of course, 3 times a week and everything else that we are doing. Again, by the way, there's nobody else I'd rather be doing it with than my guy, Cole the Bear Thompson. Bear, I appreciate you, of course. Guys, before we get out of here, again, like I mentioned, our friends over at FanDuel, we're winning money already early in this college football season. And, of course, we're brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Guys, literally in 2 days, Tuesday, August the 26th, it is FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for football fans. It's 24 hours of deals on all of your football season predictions. So take a flyer on the MVP race, whether you want to go Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, whoever it might be. Crown your champion in August. You want to go Bengals, you want to go Lions, you want to go Chiefs, you want to go Eagles, whoever, or parlay your division winner dark horse. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. And make sure when you sign up over at FanDuel.com/SECU. That's FanDuel.com/SECU. FanDuel, play your game. Guys, once again, we appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. This is the Overtime Drive, Sunday Funday edition. The Overtime Drive, SEC Unfiltered, SEC Football Show, the best SEC football show on the internet. Again, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, check us out via podcast where you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. For my guy, Cole the Bear Thompson, I'm Chris Phillips. We appreciate you all. Hey, we're back. Buckle up, settle in. College football is here. We'll talk to you all tomorrow night here on the Overtime Drive. Cheers.